What is going on, legends? Ryan Magic here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing the 5 keys that allowed me to break through to $1 million in only 10 months when I've been struggling for a long time in business before this. So before we get into it, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so you can check out the rest of my videos. Let's get into this now. So I'm just going to pre-frame. I started this business when I was 21. This business I took to $1 million, and then I turned 22 in that 10-month period. But I was struggling hard before that. I really was. I was battling to get myself to do any of the things. It felt like a world away of getting anywhere where I was going to be doing significant financial figures, let alone being on the business of my dreams. But I like really felt into what was the key that broke me through. And these 5 things all had similar weight. They were equally as important in different ways. So we've got 5 things to start with M, which is nice. Let's get through these. So the first one that I'm going to emphasize is must. And the reason why is because the business that I grew to $1 million was a coaching business. I was helping life coaches get clients, teaching them how to market, teaching them how to sell, productize their knowledge. And it was me going out there and essentially becoming a speaker. I started running seminars, but before that, it was a world away. And because it was such a big deal for me to leap into this business, I knew that it would take me a lot of years to get the courage to start doing anything if I didn't make it a must. It was a nicety. It was like, this is my dream, but when's that dream going to happen? It wasn't happening, and I knew I was just going to keep putting it off because it just felt like such a big effort to try to make it happen. So the first thing is you need to make your dream a must. The way that I did that is I put myself in a situation where I was paying for mentorship from someone. I found someone that was really premium on purpose. I had to borrow $5,000 to make the deposit, and then I had $1,000 coming out of my account for a year every single week. So you can imagine I had no other revenue source, no other job that was could make the payments. I literally had to make sales from week 1 in the business. And the crazy thing was, it actually gave me a sense of peace. It sounds weird, but the moment that I made this decision to essentially say, no, hang on a second, this is my dream, I'm going all in, and it has to happen. I'm like literally stuffing myself up financially. I'm backing myself into a corner, into a wall, and I'm going to fight my way out. And I did. And the reason why is because you can handle more than what you realize. I can handle more than what I realize. We just don't put ourselves very often in situations that cause us to stretch and dig deep to bring out our capabilities. Why? Because it doesn't make sense to. Our mind's always trying to get us to be safe. Our nervous system is designed for survival. So if you're gonna, it's pretty difficult to convince your nervous system, yeah, it's a good idea to put myself in these tough situations. But you can intellectually overpower that. And that's what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this. Like, this is my dream. When's this someday gonna come? Like, someday I'm gonna start my dream business. And what actually got me was I was like, what if I die? What if I literally died between now and starting this thing? It'd be such a shame. Like, this is my dream. I would at least want to know what it feels like to be pursuing it. Know what it feels like to be engaging in my dream, which was speaking, doing what I'm doing right now with you guys because of this. So I made it a must, and I hired that mentor. So my question to you is, and drop it in the comments, what can you do to make your dream a must? Can you enroll yourself? Like, maybe it's to become an actor. You can enroll yourself in film school in another country. When you go in there to pursue it, it all of a sudden becomes, no, this is happening. This is a thing now. I have to make it work. Like, backing yourself into that corner. And I needed to do it financially because I knew that if I didn't, if I had to make money to pay for groceries, to pay. At the time I had a partner who was suicidal. I was paying for us. She was bedridden. I had to pay for our groceries, our rent. I was gonna make sales. I was gonna make this thing work. I didn't know how. I didn't have the plan. I was operating from the quote, action precedes clarity. And so I moved. But I knew that if I ran a seminar every single week, and this is a big thing that I just want to really emphasize here. I gave myself permission to not be okay in the short term when it came to this. I thought, you know what, things might get messy here. I'm gonna get into going on stages and speaking. I'm gonna suck crap. I've never done it before, but I'm okay as long as I keep showing up. I gave myself permission. You know what? I'm just gonna keep doing a seminar a week until I break through. That might take 6 months, 12 months, a year, which is 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. It could take a long time, but I'm prepared to go that distance. And I'm okay if it takes me that long. Whereas what most people do, and I've coached over 1,000 small business owners, most people are desperate to see a result straight away. And if they don't get it, it stuffs with their mind. And then they go, maybe my dream's not possible. And then they opt out. And that's gonna circle us straight to this mindset thing. What I mentioned, action precedes clarity. That quote, that means that you take action to allow yourself to become clearer. You don't need to know every single detail of how it's going to look in the future. And this is everything. This was the mindset switch that I made. And I'm going to tell you a really interesting story. I bumped into a friend not too long before I started this business, who I'd met at an event a couple years earlier. All right. This guy, when I met him, I was doing maybe 100K in business, some other business, just selling websites and whatnot. This guy was doing 300 to 500. I think he's doing 550 grand, something like that in his business. And I was just like, wow, it's really impressive. I was really taken aback by what this guy had achieved. And I was at this event with him, this workshop, and he was already successful, but he had big ambition. And so did I. So we were learning how to do marketing and sales, essentially, at this workshop. A couple of years later, I bump into him and I'm like, dude, how are things going? How's your business? How are your dreams? Like, what's up? What's been happening? And he's like, and I kept poking and kind of digging to try to figure out how he was going. And usually at that point, I was always looking for, what are they doing financially in their business? And I dug it out of him. He was doing $7 million a year. And I was like, what? $7 million a year? A couple of years ago, he was doing 500 grand. Now he's doing $7 million. And so instantly I was like, how? What? Like, how? How did you get there? And he's like, well, to be honest with you, man, I just did what we learned at that event. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh my gosh. The only difference between myself not doing $7 million a year, I was just still kind of similar point. I made a little bit of progress, but nowhere near the amount of progress he'd made, was that he took a bunch of action and I didn't. And it blew my mind, and it made me go, what am I doing? I learned the same stuff. I could be where this guy is now, but I'm not, because I didn't take action. And that really shocked me into gear. Now, I'm going to talk about what I changed as a result. Something clicked for me at that moment. And I came up with this analogy to help me just kick ass, taking massive action. And this is what broke me through. This was the biggest thing. I call it the foggy staircase. Back then, I'd call it the steps to success. And what I realized, and it's a little miniature dude here. After I drew the stairs, I drew this guy's head and I'm like, that's not quite right. They're big steps for this little figure. But I remember back then going, he took a bunch of action. And after I bumped into him, I was kind of like, I caught up with him a bit and hung around him a little bit. I just watched the way that he did business. And he was messy. He was ridiculous. He was just like, do it, launch it, go there. He was opening gyms at the time and he was like, stuff at that location will do. I remember there was one day where I was having lunch with my friend and his wife was like, I don't even know if they were married then, but anyway, his partner was like, yeah, he just said, take this location. He hadn't even inspected it for this gym. Cost us $70,000 fixing it because it was the wrong location, and all this stuff. And I was like, $70,000? What is going on here? $7 million, you just made a $70,000 mistake? He was so damn messy. It was crazy. And that's why he broke through. He didn't care if something worked or not. He wasn't super attached. He was just like boom, 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 action, action, action. And I went, I need to embody the same thing. If I want to get the same results, I need to embody this mess, this action, this input. And so I came up with this analogy. The way that it works is that you've got a staircase, and I want you to metaphorically imagine that you go outside of your house right now, middle of the street, like there's a window right there down to the street. I just want you to imagine there's a staircase that's just in the middle of the road, going way up into the clouds, just voomp. And this staircase is infinite, just keeps going all the way off the edge of the earth into the universe. It's just unlimited. And it's a symbol of your level of success. The more you go up, the more successful you are. Now, there's two things to this. There are steps and there are flags. You've got every 20 steps, there's a flag. And what that flag represents is your next financial milestone. So every step is made up of a revenue generating action in your business. That means something that's going to get you sales. That means launching a Facebook ad. It means setting up a joint venture partnership where you find another business that can promote your stuff, affiliate deals, doing advertising on the radio, running a seminar. Just anything that could get you clients is a step. And this is what I came up with to help me try to emulate what I'd witnessed with this guy and his success. I was like, I just got to move, but I'm so attached to every step. And the reason why I believe that you also, because again, I've coached over 1,000 small business owners now. This is 8 years past this point, seven and a bit years since the time when I came up with this analogy, is because we think that if we have a micro failure, we do a Facebook ad and it doesn't work, that's feedback that our whole thing's not possible. Because it's a dream for us. This is a dream for you. You really want it to work. And so if you were to run a seminar and no one showed up, you're like, because you're so tentative about your dream, so unsure, and you don't have proof or evidence, you're like, I know it's possible, but is it actually? You can take feedback from what you do very literally and just go, crap, that was a micro failure. Now my whole business is going to fail. I knew my dream wasn't possible. And we take it so every action so emotionally. This is what I used to do as well. I'd attribute, okay, cool. I do one step, doesn't work out, far out. My whole dream's not going. So I would be so overthinky, analytical, planning with every single thing that I did as opposed to just moving. And this is what this guy did. That's why I was so successful. So I was like, screw this. Every 20 steps on your visual image that you have outside your house, the staircase, every 20 steps is a flag. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, it just keeps going. But the interesting thing that I then created and realized was it doesn't matter if a marketing campaign or a sales initiative doesn't work. If you're starting an e-commerce store and you do a collaboration with another brand to promote your stuff, or you get an influencer marketing strategy and the influencer promotes it and you don't get any sales, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. We'll talk about one crucial thing over here that does matter, which is that essentially you've got a profitable business, but we'll talk about what determines that and how to find that in a bit. But when you're going up this staircase to success, all that matters is hitting the flags. See, each step doesn't matter. Like a video game, I want you to imagine as you're looking at this staircase, this is going up into the clouds, every step's hovering above it is like a red bubble with like a negative sign in it. That means your marketing campaign didn't work. The influencer strategy, didn't work. Or there's a green plus. Yes, it did work. Then it didn't work. Then it did work. Then it didn't work. It doesn't matter if it's red, green, red, green, green, red, green. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you go 20 steps up. Because 20 pieces of action from a marketing and sales perspective is more than the average small business owner does ever. Like if someone starts a plumbing business, they hope to pick up business by jumping in the yellow pages in Australia or putting it on Craigslist. That's like, or getting word of mouth from their friends. They're not going, cool, I'm going to try to set up a joint venture with a strata management company, which is just like a real estate agency that has access to heaps of properties. They can do all the plumbing work for all of that. And then I'm going to set up a joint venture partner with a roofer. So when the roofer needs is doing a job where there's a plumber needed, they refer it. And then when the plumber's doing the job where the roofer's needed, they refer it back, cross referrals. And then they try Facebook ads. And then they try building an Instagram following, and then they have a YouTube channel. They don't do that. They don't do anything. They just hope it's gonna work. So 20 actions is just, no one does it. So when you jump into your dream business and you go, stuff it, I'm done with trying to control every single step and make sure it works. I'm flying up these steps to success. I'm just playing for the flags. Launch, launch, launch. Let's go Instagram marketing strategy, Facebook marketing strategy, start a Facebook group, whatever it is, launch, 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 boom, boom, boom. The action is massive. And when you take massive action, you get massive results. If it's all revenue driven actions, right? Marketing and sales based. It's unbelievable. It changed everything for me. I literally, and then we're gonna pivot. We're smoothly pivoting from point to point here, which is very nice. I didn't expect it to be so smooth. Then we're gonna pivot from over here. So your goal is to smash flags. It's like, grab the flag, grab the flag, grab the flag. Because every flag, cool, you got flag number 1, 20 steps up. It's waving a financial figure. For me, 20 steps up, I was probably doing $8,000 a week. And then I got 40 steps up, and it was probably maybe $12,000 a week. Then I'm 60 steps up, and it's $15,000 a week. Literally, this is what happened in my business. And this is what happened in every business based upon the input that I did, the action that I took on the staircase to success that we're just talking about now. So going up there, okay? That's really important. Now, I literally spent all day, every day. I said I made $1 million in 10 months when I was 22. That's a big effort. Like, I look back and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I like smashed a bunch of action there. But the reason why is because I was literally taking so much action. Like, I was probably doing the amount of marketing and sales initiatives than the average indecisive, over-attached, insecure, not sure if their dream was gonna work business owner. I was probably doing more than 10 other business owners. Not because I was working a lot, but I wasn't working 10 times harder than them. I was just doing the things that they were all avoiding. Instead of spending my time in the business, delivering, being the plumber, doing the service, creating the product for the online membership site, I was actually just marketing, selling from 9 to 5 all day, every day. All day, every day, market, sell, market, sell, market, sell. And I literally did that for the first probably 18 months of the business. Market, sell, market, sell, market, sell. And that's a really key point to this. And that just looks like flying up these stairs. Now, the thing that underpins this, and we're going to talk about the thing that gave me, these all working together, by the way. If you're enjoying this video, I always put a little reminder to hit this in the video. If you're enjoying the video, make sure you click the like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm push this message out there so more people can understand this and then go after their dreams like you're going to, like the boss that you are in this. And if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, I do a ton of videos like this that go more specific into set details than this on topics with business, mindset, health, the whole gamut, essentially optimizing your life. Click the subscribe button. Cool. The thing that underpins all of these is that you need to have a profitable business, okay? The model needs to be profitable. It needs to be simple and it needs to be profitable. Now, what makes something profitable is very simple. There is a demand for it. People want it. Now, most entrepreneurs are taught through seminars and when they listen to interviews of people like Steve Jobs, who are thinking about how they're going to change the world and do something that's different and like Elon Musk, never been done before. What if we take the planet? What if we make Mars in, like, we get the whole planet over to Mars? It's like, what? That's not a normal business. That's changing the fucking way that the whole world works. That's not business. This is, and it could be made into a business, but starting a crazy app like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, or Elon Musk starting Tesla, this is not normal business. That is game-changing the planet style of business. If you want to make $1 million and that's your dream, it is super easy. You could do it with a restaurant, you could do it with a dry cleaners, you could do it with a car wash center, you could do it selling boots, you could literally do it with pretty much any e-commerce store, you could do it selling plants, you could do it in the most basic ways. But the problem and the contrast versus what entrepreneurs take from interviews listening to Elon Musk is, I've got to do something that's never been done before. And I'm here to tell you right now, the opposite is true. Demand means that you know that people want it. If something's never been done before, it's because either people have tried and then they tried to launch this idea that you have that's never been done before, and people didn't want it, so there was no demand, whether they would never want it for the rest of humanity's time here on Earth, or whether it's just not time yet and the market's not ready to adapt to that thing. There's no demand. And if there's no demand, there's no profitability. People don't want it. And I'll tell you a quick story. I used to play golf. I grew up playing golf. It was my outlet from a tough upbringing. And the golf course was my sanctuary, like my place of serenity. I really loved it. And when I was playing at this club, there's a lot of wealthy business people that play. And so I used to put my name down on the timesheet on a Saturday. I'd get paired with entrepreneurs and business owners, which were just normal looking dudes that just happened to be really successful in business. You'd be surprised. I'm pretty sure in Australia there's 1 million millionaires. I've read that somewhere. It's like at least 100,000, but I thought millionaires were few and far between. There's millionaires. You walk down the street in like a solid suburb, pretty much everyone's a millionaire. It's not that hard to achieve this. You just got to be willing to do things that other people aren't. Bottom line is, I was playing with people and I'd ask them about their businesses. They'd be running like steel companies or glue factories or hiring companies. And I'm just like, what the hell? These are the most, how would anyone get into running a steel factory? It's just so random. And they were so successful. Some of them had 300, 500 staff, which meant that they were probably doing like 80 to $300 million. And with a steel company. It's like, steel company, it's so random. Why did it work? It's profitable because people need steel. Boring as it sounds, people need steel. I highly recommend that you go what's profitable and passion fueled and cross them together, because if you're really excited about what you're doing, you're going to be able to work harder and sustain the hard work, but you really need demand. And so a prime example that I often give people is personal training. Personal training is like a pretty solid gig. There's so many personal trainers. The competition is ridiculous. And I'm here to suggest that's a good thing. You might be like, why do I want to go in? There's so many personal trainers. Is there enough space? I remember I had a mentor. I feel like I'm telling so many stories here, but these are hot stories. One of my mentors that runs an architect firm, one of my best friend's dads, he sat me down when I was at his office. He's got about 80 staff, massive architect firm, super successful, beautiful man. This guy sat me down and he said, I want to teach you something. I was like, hell yeah, anything about business, let's do it. And he drew a circle on a page and he said, look, our industry has been getting demolished recently. And he had this circle. It represented the size of the market for architecture. Less people are wanting architects these days. And he said, so the market's gone from here to here. And he drew a smaller circle. And he said, the good news though, is that and he drew this tiny little dot in the circle. And he's like, for us to double our business, we just have to double that tiny little circle. So it's like the market's gone from here to here, but for him to go from like, I don't know, running a 15, 20, I've got no idea what their finances are, but it'd be very successful. Let's say it's $15 million. For us to go from 15 to $30 million, we just have to go from this small dot to this also very small dot. Not hard. There's market everywhere. There's business everywhere. I just have to go out and get it. And that's what we've done. And we've doubled our business. And I was like, that was a really great lesson. Thank you. And it's true. If there's demand, if there's competition, that's a good thing. It means people want it. And you just have to be better. You just need to be a cut above the rest. And if we're not even a cut above the rest, just a cut above some people in that space, which is so easy to do. Because if you think of the average personal trainer in a gym, they have the business come into the place. Let's say people go in the gym, the PTs pay the gym a rental amount to be in there, and then be able to get business from the members, which then go, oh, I'm struggling. I want a personal trainer so I can be more accountable and whatever. Personal trainers in gyms, most of them just sit there waiting for people to come to them. Most of them. I'm going to say 9 out of 10, even 19 out of 20. Just sit there. Some of them will show initiative and they'll go around the gym and they'll help people with their form and they'll start to build relationships. It's a little bit of initiative, not really much. When we're talking about marketing from 9 to 5, they're not marketing from 9 to 5. even though they usually work from 5 a.m. till 9 and then maybe from 5 p.m. on, they could literally market from 9 to 5, but they don't. They just sit around the gym waiting for people to come to them. What if they started running Facebook ads? That's like probably 1 in 100, 1 in 200 do that. What about running that and then doing joint ventures and collaborations with other big influencers online? What if they offered to train 5 celebrities completely free 3 days a week and they did that for a year and then they're the celebrity trainer now? They don't do this stuff. So for you to literally just crush it, you just have to do something a little bit above the average, which the average sucks. People in business suck. They're lazy. They do no marketing and sales. They're not storming up these steps. They're not even walking up it. They're not even going up anything. Every 6 months, they go, maybe I should do this one thing. And then they take like 6 months to do it. And they just go up one step. And then like 3 years later, their business goes broke and they're like, business is hard. I'm saying, you want to do $1 million business? It is not hard. You just have to do something small. So demand is good. That makes something profitable. And this is what I had. There was a demand for what I was doing with my coaching. Means that all this other stuff has merit. If there's no demand, doesn't matter if you're marketing all the time, no one wants your stuff. Doesn't matter if you've got a great mindset, you're smashing up the steps, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you make it a must. Oh, I need to make sales. Cool, no one wants to buy your thing. It's not gonna sell. You need demand, and having a model that's profitable, where there's demand, is good. Look for competition. Look for a lot of people doing it. That's a thumbs up, which is counterintuitive, but trust me, it's on point. All right, I've saved the best for last. The morning ritual, affirmations. So, the only thing that's gonna get you results is taking action. You smashing flags, you're gonna crush it. But how can you get yourself to do that? I spoke about, instead of worrying about getting a result on every step, you just go after the flags and you're detaching from the short-term results. You're willing to fail on a micro scale so you succeed on a macro scale in your business profits. But what can really give you the confidence to be able to do this stuff? For me, it was doing a morning ritual. I did it every single day from when I started the business. I wasn't doing it beforehand, but when I started, I did this very premium program with this guy. It was over a 6-figure, cost me over 6 figures to do this program to learn a morning ritual. And the main part of this morning ritual, I do a whole video breaking this down, by the way, so I'll chuck up on the screen. But open it in a new tab, watch it later to go more in depth into this. But essentially what I did is I smashed my limiting beliefs. See, what you have to understand is that you, right now, have a way that you view the world, and it determines your action that you take. So for example, if you think you have to have an education to succeed in business, even if you have ideas for businesses, you don't go out there and take action. You're like, I don't know. There's like a filter between where you are, and then there's a filter. So in your head, you've got belief systems and ideas pop in, and then you've got ideas, and then there's a filter in front of you which says, you need an education to be successful in business. Then, idea, you should start this business. It's a great idea. It feels really, you're excited about it. But then between you and your ideas and the implementation, this disc that is a metaphor for your limiting beliefs goes, hey, you need an education before you start a business. You can't do it. And then you're like, not gonna do it. So it blocks the action in most cases. And you know, people do this. They have environments or family members and friends that project, share their map and belief systems around business. Funnily enough, 99 out of 100 times, they have no experience in it. They're just projecting some nonsense like, it's very risky. So if you're like, I believe business is risky, you're probably not gonna go and do it because you're gonna go, I should start a business. And then 10 people and you're like, it's risky, it's risky. You're like, I believe business is risky. That disc is going, it's risky. So you get an idea, you don't take action because it blocks you. So this morning ritual is essentially a combatant to be able to get through that and rewire those beliefs. So what I want you to do right now is I want you just to, you're an intelligent person, you're sourcing ways to learn and improve your life and get what you want in life. It tells me you're intelligent. So this is the exercise I want you to do. I want you to write down, I believe, insert limiting belief. I believe, and then you put in the limiting belief. So just brainstorm. There's not like, oh, I hope I've got them right. Just, it's only upside here. You don't know them right now. This is gonna help you discover them. And it's just a big brain dump. You're like, I believe that I need to know heaps about business to succeed with it. I believe that I need a lot of investment behind me to start a successful business. I believe that doing an e-commerce store means that I need to know a lot about the technical side of website design and stuff. Now, all of these are essentially blocks in front of you, the big disc, limiting beliefs. And so the morning ritual, I want you to do this exercise so you become aware. You're like, holy crap, this is what I'm thinking right now? How the hell am I meant to start a business when I'm thinking that I need an education before I start the business? I can't do it unless I got more technical knowledge. You're just not gonna do it. It's impossible. You're just like trying to take action, and it's just every time you do it, you just get paralyzed because you've got all these belief systems. And I had the same, we all do. I believe I'm too young. People won't listen to me. I don't know enough yet. I'm too nervous. I'm not tall like Tony Robbins. Why would people listen to me? Whatever the bull crap is, and most of it is absolute nonsense. You can reframe them and rewire the way that you think by coming up with affirmations that are empowering statements of the opposite. And there's this really intense strategy that I use to rewire belief systems that, again, I'm gonna put the link up there. Open it in a new tab and check it out. It is so freaking important. So let's do a little recap here, all right? Because I literally made it $1 million in 10 months from being stuck, quiet, shy, all of the things. And this gave me started to get me results, got me to $1 million. I got the confidence. I realized that business is not some elusive, crazy thing. And I remember hearing Steve Jobs talk about this. You know, people think this success is and dreams are this big, crazy, elusive, intangible idea. No, it's tangibility. You take action, you get results. If you say, hey, you do a letter drop to 10,000 people saying that you can paint their house for this amount, you're gonna get some inquiries. Like, you move, results come. It's not, like, we gotta be logical about it and not emotional. So you have a profitable business, okay? There's competition. You know that people want what you're about to do, then you just put your edge on it. You do what you're passionate about. You literally stop concentrating on every single thing needing to break through, and you just launch. Desensitize yourself to needing to know, and you play for the flags, not the steps, and spend 9 to 5 doing your marketing and sales. Outside hours, you do the delivery. Everything else is in hours. You make it a must by putting yourself in a position where it has to happen, and you can get creative. I wanna know, actually, in the comments, what could you do to make it a must? You're like, oh, I don't really want to make it a must. Well, if you don't, you're not going to do anything. You're just going to stay with it being a someday thing. Yeah, I'm going to chase my dream someday. It just doesn't feel like the right time. It's never going to feel like the right time. You got to choose in the moment. Realize that, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, this is just life, but you could get hit by a car tomorrow. You could literally pass away tomorrow. And imagine if today you went, stuff and I'm launching, and you announce that you're launching something. At least you got the chance to honor your heart's calling for what you really want to do and start pursuing your dream so you can feel what it feels like. And like I said, when I first leapt into doing this, I felt peace. I was like, oh, I can relax. Even though I know I'm about to go into a war zone, I'm finally doing what I want to do. I'm finally giving myself the chance. So make it a must, do something. I hired a mentor, a premium mentor. That was good for me. Figure out what's gonna work for you and comment. What are you gonna do? Or what are you thinking that you could do? And then lastly, do the morning ritual. Click the link, figure out how to do it. Do it every single morning, and it's gonna make you so certain, so clear, so strong, so unlimited in the way that you think, as opposed to, oh, but I need this first. Oh, I can't do it because of this reason. No, you're like, I can do anything. And it puts you in this state where you can go out there, crush it, marketing all day, you got a profitable business, it's a must. This is how you win this game. This is how you get to $1 million. This is how I did it at 22 years old. So guys, if you found this valuable and you haven't clicked the like button yet, click the like button. I want you to comment below telling me which out of these M5, which out of these has resonated most with you? Which has been the biggest thing that you're gonna take from this and use? You need to use at least, even if you don't have your mindset's already strong and you need a profitable model and you need to be marketing and selling. But which out of these has been most beneficial for you to know? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button. Keep yourself accountable to being in the space where I can coach you to build your dream life. Let's make this happen, guys. See you.